When it comes to saving you money on tires, nobody does it better than Big O Tires. Like saving you up to $120 on select sets of Goodyear, Yokohama, Pirelli, and Continental tires now through November 3rd. That's $70 off instantly, plus up to $50 back by mail-in rebate when you purchase using your Big O Tires card. Hurry into Big O Tires and see how much you can save. Big O Tires, the team you trust. For the location nearest you, go to bigotires.com.
What a night in Denver. The Chiefs had every phase of their game working and came away with a 30-6 triumph over the Denver Broncos. All's well, right? Well, no. Patrick Mahomes suffered a knee injury, and as Sam Mellinger, Sam McDowell, Herbie Teope, and me, Blair Kerkhoff, were discussing the injury on Facebook Live last night, we didn't know how much action Mahomes will miss. Perhaps the news will come out later today, Friday, October 18th, but the uncertainty of Mahomes' status didn't stop us from talking about it and presenting it now as a Sports Beat KC podcast sponsored by Big O Tires. Thanks to Kathy Lou for putting together the episode, and we'll be back on Monday with another full week of Sports Beat KC, where we talk sports in Kansas City. So maybe we're on.
Let's hope so.
Maybe we're on Facebook Live Red Zone Extra. We'll know for sure, and you guys tell us if we're on, and you can hear us and make sure we're doing this in a different way tonight. Welcome to Facebook Live Red Zone Extra. We just watched the Chiefs defeat the Denver Broncos 30-6. The Chiefs played great defense, great special teams. The offensive line was great. I think that was the story of the game, don't you? No.
Was that the final 30-6?
You know, I wondered if and when we would ever talk about this particular topic that we're going to spend a lot of time on tonight. Yeah. And that day has come. The Patrick Mahomes injury, and here we are.
We're live.
We're live. So let's start, Herbie. Just give us the play-by-play of the injury, when it happened, and what's the latest on the condition of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, the injury occurred in the second quarter on a 4th and 1 quarterback sneak, and there was a pile, and of course, it was obvious somebody was hurt. And as the players started piling off, all of a sudden you just heard a collective gasp. It's Patrick Mahomes, and the crowd got very quiet. Players on both sides got on the knee as medical staff were frantically waved from the field onto the field, from the sidelines onto the field, and they tended to Patrick Mahomes. I think it was Tyreek Hill who ran down the other side of the field.
And DeMarcus
Robinson. DeMarcus Robinson, yes, took his helmet off in clear anguish because it is Patrick Mahomes. After a few minutes on the ground, the cart was waved out, but then all of a sudden you saw the cart veer off because Patrick Mahomes, with his mutant powers, just stood up. He had some help going to the sideline. It didn't look good because he was gimpy. He didn't look good at all. Next thing you know, he kind of like pushed aside Rick Burkholder and then pushed aside the guy who was holding him on the right side, and he's walking under his own power into the locker room. Replay showed what appeared to be one of the medical staff pop his kneecap back in his place. It was his right knee that was hurt. Source told me that, yes, it was a dislocated kneecap, but an MRI is going to be performed Friday, and Chiefs Coach Andy Reid even said before he puts out even more information, they want to know what the results of that MRI is. But all indications right now, it seems pretty positive. You know, they may have dodged a serious bullet because if it is a dislocated kneecap, Sam McDowell here was doing some research during the game, and I think it was 3 to 6 weeks probably.
It depends on whether or not it would need surgery.
Yeah, best case scenario, maybe 3 to 6 weeks if he doesn't require surgery. A lot of players after the game, you know, they expressed their anguish about seeing their franchise quarterback going down. LaShawn McCoy even said it made him feel sad, and as he said, quote, "That's our franchise," end quote. And I'm sure a lot of Chiefs fans probably feel the same way, Blair.
I saw Hill and DeMarcus Robinson. That was the first sign that I saw.
Something was wrong to me too. Yeah.
Yep. But let's go to the play call itself. 4th and 1. They had grinded their way like 37 yards in about 7 or 8, 9 plays to get there. I thought it was an important possession in the game. It was
absolutely
10. I think it was 10-6 at the time.
10-6. Mm-hmm.
So they needed to probably. You turned to me and said they need a touchdown here, not a field goal. Quarterback sneak. Is that the call that you want to see there? Under normal circumstances, healthy ankle, no, not gimpy Patrick Mahomes. Okay. but with a injured ankle, thrice injured ankle, is quarterback sneak the call to make there?
I didn't like it. I didn't like the call. I'm not going to rip him for the call. I mean, I think at some point if the guy's out there, he's playing. And, you can't really think about that stuff. But I'm probably on the extreme of, protection of Patrick Mahomes.
At all costs.
And maybe for selfish reasons, he's good for content. So I didn't like the call. I just think it's unnecessary. I understand it's maybe the highest percentage of picking that up. They did convert on that play. But I don't like the call, but I understand why they did it. I'm not going to rip them for it.
Andy Reid was asked about it afterward and said it's a play where quarterbacks normally don't get hurt, so he doesn't regret it whatsoever.
There's probably nobody that's done more quarterback sneaks in the last 10, 15, probably 30 years that he's been playing than Tom Brady,
For sure.
and he's never been hurt. But it's just, once you get at the bottom of that pile, weird stuff happens. You know what I mean? And look, again, he could get hurt on a pat, and you went back and looked, I think, at all the snaps, Blair, that he had gotten hurt on this, and they were all sort of messy pockets, scrambling around a little bit, and you can get hurt 1,000 ways in football. I didn't like the call, but I'm not going to crush him.
Well, and I had to, grade assign grades after the game, and so I get to coaching, which is the last thing, and people are really ripping Andy Reid on Twitter for the play call, so I'm thinking, exactly, Mahomes' ankle was originally injured in the opener, and then re-injured in each of the last two games, the losses at Arrowhead. None of those were on a quarterback sneak. In terms of percentage of plays in which quarterbacks injure themselves, I think that's pretty low, the quarterback sneak. So I didn't give Andy Reid an A or coaching an A. I gave him a B because I thought they were great in just about everything they did tonight. But I just left open a little bit of doubt about that play call. Sam McDowell, you spent the entire second half on the field and around the locker room area. What did you see and what did you hear?
Yeah, obviously pretty much all the Chiefs front office personnel cycling in and out of the locker room. Actually, Pat Sr., Patrick Mahomes' dad, was invited in the locker room. His girlfriend was in the locker room. An agent was in the locker room. So the scene kind of made you feel the seriousness of it. Who this is. Not that another player gets injured, that there wouldn't be a lot of concern about it, but it was very clear that this is a gigantic deal. This player is a gigantic deal. This is the future. But we were all in the locker room afterwards. I thought it was more upbeat than what I had anticipated before we walked in there. The players coming off after the game, I thought, and they didn't know yet, I don't think, quite the extent, although I'm sure word can circulate on the sidelines somewhat. But, Cam Irving told me, he's hoping to get some sort of update in the locker room after the game, and he walks in, and there's Patrick Mahomes ready to address the team after the game, and NFL Network cameras caught that, so we all heard that. And he kind of talked like a normal sort of rally the troops speech after the game. So the players seem to think, based on him being in good spirits, that they did avoid the worst-case scenario, but that MRI that's coming tomorrow, I think, you wonder, definitely not a doctor here, but they obviously popped the kneecap back into place, it seemed, and obviously there were some people that were medical experts that were reporting that's what it appeared they were doing. But the MRI, you wonder if they also need to test to make sure there's no ligament damage.
Bingo.
As well.
Yeah. What the source told me also is, as of right now, there's nothing that indicates a fracture, and that's the good news. And then when you saw Patrick Mahomes with the NFL Network footage, he wasn't even on crutches.
Right.
And that's got to be a good sign.
You mentioned it off the top, but the way that he walked off initially with help, and then by the end of it, it was such a bizarre 3 or 4 minutes, because you had players just literally ripping off their helmets and slamming them onto the ground. Demarcus Robinson ended up about the 20-yard line. I think he's 60 yards away from where it happened. He was so distraught about it. Travis Kelce and Sam was there for that as well, but he said it didn't even look like a knee. It was so out of whack. So they actually visibly saw it. And then 3 or 4 minutes later, he's walking kind of on his own power to the locker room. So just a really bizarre 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, let's try to dissect what it means. I think we can assume whatever we hear tomorrow, Friday, that it will be some sort of, maybe we won't hear it Friday, but maybe we will. We'll get some kind of timetable for the return. If best case scenario is 3 to 4 weeks, and 3 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, that to me is the best case scenario for Mahomes. What do the Chiefs do? I mean, where do they go? Is Matt Moore their guy?
It's so weird. You
Wanna know?
Yeah, Matty Moore, want to know. We haven't heard for sure that Chad Henne is out for the year, right? I know he had ankle surgery, but that's like hanging out there. If it's 3 to 6, I don't think you go get somebody. I think, you go with a guy that you've had in your quarterback meeting room and all that stuff, and you keep that going. And you just hope at 5-2 that, you're still in the playoff race, and then, even if you don't, this whole season has sort of been, they'll get a bye, they'll play the Patriots and all that stuff. That's probably out the window, right? But if you get in the tournament, as Carl Peterson would say, and you have a healthy Patrick Mahomes
With a healthy ankle.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
in addition to
While
the knee.
he's rehabbing that knee, that ankle is going to get some rest. I don't know. I think you take your chances with that.
But what if it's bad news? Then what do you do?
If it's season ending,
If it's season ending, then what do you do? I think you got the trade deadline coming up. Now all of a sudden you got to start looking at other quarterbacks around the league, because if Matt Moore is your guy, is he the guy that can actually lead you to the playoffs? I mean, Coach Reed sounded pretty encouraged with what he saw out there. Some of the teammates in the locker room rallied around him, but you have to wonder, can Moore lead them to the postseason? And at the very least, you're in a situation, if this is season ending, are you going to elevate Kyle Shermer to the active roster, or are you still going to have to go out there and get another quarterback?
yeah. I mean, I think we're all somewhat skeptical of Matt Moore being a playoff caliber quarterback. I mean, every player after player, they're like, he's been in the league a long time. Well, yeah, he's been in the league
It
a long
wasn't
time.
2 months ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 2 months ago he's coaching his old high school, but he's shown, and I'm not, it's not knocking the guy. He's one of the 50 best people to do on the planet to do what he does. Like, that's pretty freaking good. But he's a huge drop from the guy that he's replacing. But the problem is, like, the trade deadline. Who are you going to trade that's going to be significantly better at this point in the season? Teams aren't usually trading. I know Jacoby Brissett, right? The Patriots and Colts. But teams aren't usually trading quarterbacks.
It almost have to come from the NFC, because there's not an AFC team that wants to help out this Chiefs situation right now.
Right.
Unless they're completely out of contention, but.
And even then, I mean, I know you want to maximize every year. You're always in win now and all that stuff, but you're not going to want to give up too much for a guy that you're hoping only plays 3 to 6 games, right?
Sort of. I mean, there's veteran guys out there that are on bad teams right now that. And this is, of course, all speculation, because I think if he's out 3 to 6 weeks, you roll with what you got.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's longer term, maybe, Ryan Fitzpatrick plays for the Dolphins. They're not getting a whole lot of use out of him. There's some certain guys like that maybe at least make a phone call about to get you through, if it's more 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, to make sure you're in the tournament. But to me, I kind of think that Matt Moore will be the guy leading this team for the next few weeks.
A thought just popped in my head. And they would never do this trade. They play 4 weeks or whatever. But Marcus Mariota,
Yeah, I just thought that.
is just an Andy Reid. Like, he'll be the backup for the Chiefs at some point.
in his life.
Right. I don't know. Should we do it now? Should we wait until he's a free agent?
And the other thing, you don't have to pick up a huge contract, because he's in the final year of his deal.
That's right.
And he's won a playoff game at Arrowhead.
That's right.
So he has that experience.
I'm just going to point out that my suggestion went to Harvard and could probably pick up the offense a little bit quicker.
RJ Weaver agrees with you. Fitz magic, baby, he said. And Barbara Hedrick wants to know where you find a high caliber quarterback right now.
I think 30 NFL teams say that every year.
Yeah.
29 maybe.
Right. Hey, let us know what you think. What the Chiefs should do. If it is, let's call it a 3 to 6 week absence for Patrick Mahomes. Who do you want as your quarterback? Tell you what, Matt Moore had a couple of nice moments tonight.
That throw to Tyreek Hill. The throw was on the money, and the Chiefs love. I don't know what are we calling this route?
So Chris Harris Jr. called it a shallow wheel route and said he'd never seen it before in the NFL.
Well, he hasn't watched a lot of Chiefs tape this year because
He said nobody could guard that play.
the Chiefs run that play a lot, I feel like, but that's weird. But the part about that throw, the throw was on the money.
Oh,
right?
it was perfect.
It was a great throw, but that pocket was not holding up, and he kind of stepped up, and there was pressure on the edges, and there was pressure coming up the middle, and he stepped right into that pressure, threw the ball. That took some guts. That took some
It did.
talent. I mean, that was a hell of a throw.
Veteran quarterback.
Yep, been in the league a long time.
Okay, so we've settled Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
We're going to call it 3-6. They're not going to make a move. We're going to go with Matt Moore. They're the Chiefs are 5-2 now. Packers, Vikings, next 2 games at home. Oof, oof. Tough road for the Chiefs. Did everything get fixed tonight? I mean, aside from the quarterback situation, the defense, special teams, did things get offensive line? Did things get fixed tonight, Herbie?
For one game, yes. I think for
Right.
one game, but you know that we always operate once is a fluke, twice or more is a habit. Now you have to replicate the success from tonight and hope that carries over into Sunday night football against the Green Bay Packers. That's going to be a big test because the Packers are pretty stout on defense. So we'll see what Matt Moore's made of here. The good news is Reed's got 10 days to get him ready.
Yeah, but that's what was so bizarre about this game is, and Sam and I talked this hanging out by the locker room right before the last few minutes, but there was so much to write about outside of this Patrick Mahomes injury, but the Mahomes injury just overshadowed all of it because the defense had an unbelievable night
They
tonight.
were so good.
How many sacks did they?
9.
9
sacks.
One, 2 off the team record.
Yep.
11's a team record.
I mean, that should have been what we're all sitting here talking about is how great the defense was. And even though they gave up 6 on that first drive, they looked pretty good on that first drive to where, and Blair and I talked about that during the game. It was kind of weird, the fact that they looked good but still gave up 6. Just a couple of penalties ruined that drive. But mentally, I thought they were more engaged in that game. Flying to the football, I think was the term you used when we were sitting up here in the press box, Herbie. But I just thought they looked, like I said, more engaged and in tune with the game. Like they were here to make a point, I thought.
And they shut down the run, which to me was highly impressive.
3.2.
Yeah, that was
71 total.
71 total yards coming off of a 4-game stretch where they just gave up almost 800 total yards rushing, and now 71. It was pretty impressive, but the defense certainly shined. But what really stood out to me was a guy's name that we didn't even hear once in the press box. Broncos outside linebacker Von Miller. The offensive line did a pretty darn good job of
Two of us
keeping
had
him out
him as
there.
our pick this week.
Yes, we did.
They
Good
forced
work.
Sam off it.
No, with their coach.
We got to give Sam some credit though because Sam said he wanted to use him and then he went a different way.
The way they played the run tonight kind of reminded me of you guys remember when the Chiefs sort of, Herm Edwards hated this term, but backed into the playoffs, and they faced the Colts, and everybody just thought the Colts have the worst rush defense in the NFL. The Chiefs are going to run all over them, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that was all the talk we heard this week for 4 days was the Broncos have 2 backs that can run it. Phillip Lindsay is going to rush for 200 yards tonight, and I think that got in the minds of the Chiefs defensive players.
They did. It's worth mentioning Anthony Hitchens returns and Reggie Ragland played.
Yeah. He was worth a story
Probably
too.
most snaps that he had in the game this
I think
year.
by far, and I thought they were both really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Hitchens had 2 sacks, right?
Two sacks.
And the strip of
Yeah,
the
which Ragland picked
Yeah,
up.
Frank Clark had a good game.
2 sacks.
Clark had a
sacks.
really
Clark
good
was
day.
great.
Yeah.
Clark was great.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fast. They were aggressive. They tackled well. I mean, it was like everything that they hadn't been doing, they did.
Flew to the ball. I mean, they absolutely did just fly to the ball. It was I hadn't seen that defense all year.
This is a crazy number to me. The Chiefs gave up 205 yards of total offense, and they got 79 on their sacks. So so just net yards. I mean, it's just they were dominant.
And they won the time of possession too.
How about that? How about that?
Wow.
So 130 total yards after the first series for the Broncos.
Yeah.
130 yards.
Yeah.
It got so bad that at the end, Fangio just wanted the game to end. He wasn't even trying to score at the end. Just let the clock run. Let's get the hell out of here. And everybody you mentioned played. Rashad Fenton played well tonight.
Yes, he did too.
So it was interesting to see him, rookie, kind of have a day that he did. And
Getting back to Ragland just real quick before we move on, but I thought that perhaps he was more involved in the game plan because of the way the Broncos play offense.
Yeah.
Because we know his weakness is his speed. And this is not a super fast team. But I wonder if he played so well that he plays himself into the next game plan regardless of the fact that Green Bay does have speed.
Maybe. Keep in mind, too, that Joe Flacco, although he's had his moments as a pro, is not Lamar Jackson, Jacoby Brissett, or Deshaun Watson when it comes to mobility.
He was a statue. Yeah, he was a statue back there.
Yes, he
That's
was.
the nicest thing that
Yep.
he could
Pigeons were circling, looking. Man, they got. But I mean, the Chiefs got to him in a way. The Chargers and the Titans of the last couple of weeks didn't get to him. So
It's a good point. It is an upgrade, though. They go from Flacco to Rodgers.
yeah.
A mobile Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yep, guys
He
playing
looked
really
good the
well.
other night.
Yeah, he did look good. Special teams. Butker, Colquitt were both kicked the ball really well tonight. But Armani Watts had the kind of the special teams play of the game. Poor punter.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It was a botched play according to Fangio after the
Okay.
game.
I'd use that one too.
So that was not a designed fake punt.
It was supposed to be a
Okay.
fake, but the wide receiver botched it, and the poor punter standing there with the ball and had no idea what to do.
Well,
You got to get rid of it.
Anytime you can get your punter in space.
Well, he should have kicked it. I mean, he
He
should
should've
have kicked it as soon
He
as
should've
as
just
soon as
kicked
it broke down. Just kick it.
Yeah.
Go Australian rules and,
I agree.
and run and kick it. But Armani Watts got on him in a hurry, made the tackle, and got a sack. Got credit for a sack, and of course. That gave the Chiefs the short field, and that was the series where that ended in the 4th and 1 quarterback sneak for Patrick Mahomes. So
They also had their best punt return of the season
Yep,
tonight. Just
Hartman.
to expand on that special team. Special team just had a great night.
it did. I gave them an A. They got an A, and both rushing defense and passing defense got A's from me tonight. Good to give them good grades after failing them, and D's and F's most of the way. So. PJ Weaver, shout out to the Shermanator for a couple of short yardage first downs. Absolutely, they did. Didn't the Chiefs win both sides of the line of
They
scrimmage
did.
tonight?
They did. They
After just
manhandled
getting
them.
crushed
Yeah.
on both sides.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, it was really good to see that.
The Broncos 1 of 13 on third downs. For a defense that's been talking about, like, we need to get off the field on third downs.
Yeah, they're
1
behind the
of
chains.
13.
They're behind the chains on a lot of those.
That's true.
Does the defense have the ability to continue to do this, or some facsimile of this?
We kind of talked about this after the game, but you almost wonder if the defense might improve because it has to now. If Mahomes isn't on the field, maybe, they don't have that crutch, that knowing this guy will bail us out all the time now. So maybe it just flips a switch a little bit for him.
That's what Alex Okafor said, something like that after the game, that the offense has been bailing the defense out all season, and now it's time for them to do their part in this.
They actually haven't. I mean, it sounds so stupid after those 4 weeks, but there was a lot of plays where they're just not that far off.
That's what
when
Andy
they were-
Reid said after the game.
Yeah, and I mean, like the coverage, there were a lot of like times where they were just a half a second from the quarterback. I mean, they're just, and I get it. Like those are the margins that separate like a Super Bowl winner and a team that doesn't go to the playoffs. Like I understand that, but like it's just. We talked about that this week, right? At Big O, I think about like there's some moments where they're just not that far off. I don't think they can do this every week. If they do this, they're going to win the Super Bowl without question.
I haven't
But-
seen this.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I saw anything like this.
Yeah, but
2015.
Yeah. Down that 10-game winning streak, they had a couple games like that.
I think they can drag to, not the season. The season-ending numbers won't be this, but for the rest of the season to be an average defense, I think that's realistic.
Well, it's like we kind of all said after last season when they were 31st in a couple of those defensive lists. If they can get to half,
Yeah.
the mid-teens in rushing defense and total defense with this offense, yeah. But now this offense, is it going back to the offense? Are we looking more Alex Smithian in
Yeah.
terms of what we're going to see the next few, no matter who the quarterback is, anything less than a Colin Kaepernick, I guess.
Yeah.
If we're looking at a game manager type of quarterback, isn't that what we're looking at now?
I think so, but one thing that is encouraging is when Andy Reid said he didn't have to scale back the plays when Matt Moore came in there. He kept it the same way as if Mahomes was there, and I think that's got to be encouraging that they do trust him to at least try some of the plays that Mahomes would typically run.
It's wild. I mean, Travis, I wouldn't have thought about this, but Travis Kelce brought it up after the game. He said at least like 3 or 4 of the guys out there, and he said, including me, had never caught a pass from Matt Moore. Practice, anything. Had just never caught a ball that was thrown by Matt Moore until they're on Thursday Night Football in Denver. Like that just that blows my mind. Tyreek Hill.
Scout team.
Yes, Tyreek Hill, I guess he was running scout team the week before the Texans game. Tyreek was Will Fuller, and Matt Moore was Deshaun Watson.
They could be Deshaun Watson. And then
Yeah, if you can beat him, hey.
But he was 10, what were the numbers? 10 for 19
10
for like
19,
117 yards or something?
Yeah.
Boy, Mahomes was off to a great start, wasn't he, tonight? 10 of 11.
Yeah.
Short passes. I think they were trying to protect the ankle tonight.
missed one pass, but I thought
It was a bad
about
miss.
it.
Remember,
Yeah.
it was the one to McCall Hardman.
Yeah.
The other
It's
thing
just-
with Moore, I'm sorry, real quick, but just no interceptions. I think that's significant.
It
You know,
didn't
to
really
just
wasn't close to
come in
one, was
cold.
he?
Yeah, I don't remember him being close. I mean, he got rocked a few times.
He did.
Just
And
physically.
the one time he would have
But-
gotten sacked, there was a defensive holding penalty.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
I was just gonna point out that it's just another reminder, and we have plenty of them, that we overreact too much to just the one game as they come to us. Because last couple of weeks it was this team's never gonna get past what this defense has given them, and now we're sitting here thinking maybe the defense could carry them. And I think just if they can be somewhere in the middle with the offense, and get the offense maybe. If you can get the offense around that number 2, maybe around 15 or something like that, because they're going to have to run the ball a lot more for sure now. Sean McCoy is going to have to be more involved in the game plan, and that's something we haven't talked about, but McCoy's been the guy now all of a sudden in the backfield. Damian Williams 2 weeks ago when they were awful against the Colts was the only running back getting snaps in that second half, and now we're seeing Darrell Williams out there on almost all third down plays, and I think part of that is because he's good in pass pro, but Damian Williams is kind of sliding down the depth chart, it seems.
McCoy, I think it was 64 yards tonight. Had a nice game, couple of really nice runs. You're right. I mean, the Alex Smith led offense was more balanced just because he doesn't have, as if anybody does, Mahomes' talent. And he had Kareem Hunt for a year and a half, or a year anyway. Mahomes had him for.
And it's worth emphasizing, Matt Moore is not Alex Smith. You know what I
No,
mean?
no,
Like,
not
like
even
a
that.
Very poor man's Alex Smith.
Right,
but,
not even that.
But that type, I think what you're like
That
that type
style.
of offense, like tunnel screens.
Yes.
Yep. Those might come back.
Just don't bring a Matt Castle offense in here, though.
That's right.
Well, one thing I don't think we'll expect from Matt Moore is an ability to scramble. I mean, I just don't think a guy his age, maybe back when he was,
I don't think that was really much in his game, even when he was healthy.
so the Chiefs are going to lose that, and be susceptible to to sacks and some other things with him. But again, they, as with Alex Smith, you had Tyreek Hill, you've got Travis Kelce, you've got a better Demarcus Robinson. So, and maybe they get Sammy Watkins back here soon or so. It was good to see. I think we mentioned it earlier. Hitchens back. Rashard Breeland, we didn't know if he was going to play tonight. He had the non-injury absence. So he didn't travel with the team here, but played tonight. Who am I missing? Someone else Dorian O'Daniel was back for special teams play. So not to suggest that they're about to get Chris Jones back. Although he was in the locker room laughing with everybody tonight. I don't know if you saw that.
He was in a great mood.
He was having a good time in the locker room. Eric Fisher's not coming back next week or anything. So so the Chiefs still they got plenty of issues going forward. But tonight was, at least on the field, their most complete victory of the season.
They
I would agree with that.
I think they just emotionally, I think they needed like that kind of performance.
And it came against an AFC West opponent, which is
8th straight win. Their 8th straight win against the
wild.
Broncos.
That really is something.
That's
Against
crazy.
a division opponent that you see
Yeah.
twice a year, usually, the adage is the second game kind of favors the team that knows it has to make adjustments. And to just beat them over and over again. And if Mahomes is back the second time they play, and he's considering health moving forward, I mean, how long can that streak grow? Because the Broncos have not been impressed. I know they won the last couple of weeks, and
No, they won the last couple of weeks, but they had a couple of games, the Bears and the Jaguars, where they lost in the end, and just kind of got unlucky. And they could have a better record than what they have.
Their defense is decent, but that defense is aging as well. And then the offense, there's not that many pieces to like on the offense. I at some point I feel like that team, and I know we're kind of crossing lines here, but at some point I feel like that team's going to have to rebuild it.
They got to blow it up. That offense is hard to watch.
Yeah.
I wonder if they think Drew Lock is the answer.
I like Drew Lock.
I wonder if they're going to give him a chance to be the answer there. So,
I wonder if we would have seen him tonight. If not for it was a thumb, right?
yeah,
thumb injury.
Yep. And although they're talking about him coming back in the next couple of weeks, so
Probably talking more about it now.
yes. Not a good night for Joe Flacco or that offensive line. That
They got
Broncos
trucked.
offense, they absolutely, again, Chiefs winning both sides of the offensive line. Okay, it's late here. I know it's even later in Kansas City. Really appreciate you guys joining. Sam Mellinger, Sam McDowell, Herbie Teope, and me, Blair Kerkhoff. We miss you, Vahe. I know you're watching. He's not watching.
No, he's not.
Eastern time zone.
right. We will be back with you guys next Thursday from a Big O Tires somewhere in the metropolitan Kansas City area. Really appreciate you joining us. And Sam, you're going to have to take us out with the off button. Hey, it's Blair. Hey, we have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners. Unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns we have to offer. And it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. For your convenience, your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. A lot of subscription services won't tell you that. They'll just sneak it on there. We just told you. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.